Hi guys! Today, I'm going to recap a 2014 romance drama movie titled Obsessed. A South Korean colonel started having an affair with the wife of a captain in the summer of 1969. How long will it be until they are found? Let's find out together. It is 1969 now. Colonel Kim was a decorated war veteran who served his country with honor in Vietnam. Each member of the group felt pride in their contributions. He didn't want to drink at first, but the commander forced him. That he only got the job because he was married to the commander's daughter is just one example of the kind of thing people on the team must have said about him, behind his back. But he and his wife Lee, who is trying very hard to conceive, are not happy together. Colonel Kim has been placed under the command of Captain Kyung, who will go to any lengths to prove his devotion to his superior. Lee informed her husband that she had met Jong, the wife of the recently relocated Captain Kyung. She went on to tell Colonel Kim that she enjoys spending time with Jong now that the couple is no longer the only ones without kids. They talk about birds, and she tells him about Jong. One night, while snooping around, Colonel Kim discovers bird cages strung between the trees. To learn more, he approaches them. Evidently, Jong has some pet birds. The two of them had never met prior to that. On another occasion, Colonel Kim visits a physician who diagnoses him with panic disorder. The doctor inquires as to the cause of his disturbing dreams. He learns from Colonel Kim that one of his recurring nightmares involves him being in the jungle and holding the severed head of someone he feels guilty about killing. The doctor is interested in his drinking habits as well. The doctor hears from Colonel Kim that he frequently vomits after drinking, so he is strictly forbidden from doing so. For a living, Lee works as a nurse in a medical facility. When Jong walked in, she and her husband were in the middle of putting together a group photo of all the nurses. In the office, she announces to everyone that Jong is the newest nurse. Other nurses can't help but respect Colonel Kim because of his widespread popularity among female patients. As the two are chatting, the patient, who was a Korean soldier in the Vietnam War, tries to stab Lee. At once, Jong comes to her rescue. But the patient seizes Jong and puts a knife to her throat. Meanwhile, Colonel Kim in the same room points a gun at the patient and orders him to let her go. The patient goes into a panic, but Jong reassures her by telling Colonel Kim not to shoot. Speaking to the patient in a soothing tone, Colonel Kim reassures him that he is in good hands and has nothing to worry about. Jong is shot in the arm as he slowly removes the knife from the patient's hand and retrieves his gun. Though Colonel Kim is concerned, all that matters to Jong is that she lost her right earring on stage. Some women in a salon in another location also learned of the crime. Behind Jong's back, they say things like, "Who does she think she is to cause trouble for Colonel Kim?" They are also being racist because Jong is half Chinese. Since the patient hurt Colonel Kim, Captain Kyung hits him. The door to the room opens, and Colonel Kim comes in. After that, they have a conversation. Colonel Kim claims he feels bad for hurting Jong and wants to make amends by apologizing to her. In response, Colonel Kim pays a visit to Jong, bringing with him a cake and some flowers. When he arrives, Jong is in the midst of telling her mother that she has no desire to see her again. After that, her mother goes home. Eventually, Jong runs into him again. She says that the flowers will die if they are left that way, so Colonel Kim looks for a vase to put the flowers on water and rearranges the flowers. Then, when Jong is talking to Colonel Kim, she eats the cake. He then gives her back the earring she had lost. She politely and gently asks for his assistance, and he puts it in for her. She tells him that she was impressed with how he handled the situation before. Colonel Kim gets together with his boss. His senior tells him that he likes how lonely housewives go to dance class on Monday mornings right after getting their hair and makeup done at the beauty shop. It makes Colonel Kim's mind go crazy. Even while his wife is talking, Colonel Kim's mind keeps wandering back to Jong after he returns home. Her beauty made his lonely heart feel better. Colonel Kim, Captain Kyung, Jong, and Lee have a picnic in a park. Captain Kyung tells them about how good Colonel Kim was in Vietnam. Jong is shocked by what he hears. Lee and Captain Kyung go to the bathroom, leaving Colonel Kim and Jong alone. There's an awkward pause while he lights up, but then Jong tells him smoking is bad for his health and gives him an apple. The colonel cracks a grin and politely requests a dance to the waltz. It seems like a pointless query to him. Jong laughs and says that she liked it when he brought her flowers and cake to the hospital. She can't help but smile every time she thinks about it, and she says it was also a stupid question. Colonel Kim says that all day he has been thinking about her. Jong sees his lighter and tells him it's pretty. He puts it right away in her purse so Lee and Captain Kyung won't see it. A few days later, Captain Kyung tells Jong to make a dress, so she goes to a tailor and takes her measurements. She gives her the design that Captain Kyung gave her. Jong disregards the tailor's warning that the dress will not be well received because of its plunging neckline. The women at the party are talking a lot about her and her daring dress. It's a dress with no back that everyone is talking about. At the same time, the senior commanders are lavishing her with compliments, and one of them even invites Jong to dance. The idea doesn't sit well with Colonel Kim, so he gets drunk and takes the stage to sing a song that will delay the start of the dance. But it's too late, the dance has already started, and all he can see is the senior dancing with Jong while rubbing her bareback. Later that night, Jong runs into Colonel Kim and asks him if he meant to stop the dance. He says yes, and she thanks him. After a few drinks, he starts kissing her very hard. Initially hesitant, she comes around the second time they lock lips. Following their second kiss, she walks away. On another day, the women in the beauty shop talk badly about her again, saying that she's a spoiled brat who only uses men. She allegedly served as a maid for Captain Kyung's household. Legend has it that she seduced a young Captain Kyung and married him. Lee doesn't like the way they talk trash behind Jong's back. One of the women says that she must be on Jong's side because she also doesn't have any children. Colonel Kim and his seniors start to learn how to dance. The older person tells him that he's too stiff and can't feel any love from it. Dancing, he says, is all about giving love. His friend Joe also encourages Colonel Kim to flatter the woman when they dance. Captain Kyung and his wife went to Colonel Kim's residence for dinner in the evening. Colonel Kim asks Jong to meet him outside as Captain Kyung and Lee are conversing about the coffee machine. Jong tells him to meet her in front of the church the next day. He drives her to the woods the next day in his automobile. She tells him that she likes it when he holds her hand and that it was hard to keep from caressing his hand over dinner. Colonel Kim can't help but kiss her. Later, he can't stop thinking about how well they get along in the car while it's pouring. He can't stop thinking about how she moved her hips as she was riding him, how their naked bodies caressed each other in the most loving way, and how she would groan to get him to go deeper. Jong is told by Captain Kyung that he needs to travel for a few days to accomplish a job that Colonel Kim requested. Colonel Kim comes to see her when her husband is away, but she won't open the door for him. She informs him that sending her spouse away like that is not the appropriate thing to do. He tells her that all he wants is some time alone with her. She explains that she knows this is bad, no matter how much she wants it. Then she gives him back his lighter and tells him she doesn't want to see him anymore. He's sad. He informs his pal about his affair when he is drinking and smoking. His pal claims that he isn't like that, thus he should make it this time. When he arrives home, some women knock on his door and gift him seaweed soup for his birthday tomorrow. He remembers that tomorrow is also Jong's birthday, so the next day he takes her seaweed soup to her residence. He says he missed her so much that he couldn't sleep or even breathe. She worries about him and tells him that she couldn't sleep or breathe either. He arrives to her room. Jong says that she's been imagining this. He starts stroking her all over, adoring every inch of her creamy white skin. He reaches under her underpants and touches her thigh. They start kissing, and she clutches firmly to the bedpost because she is so little. He chews her up. He eats her up like he hasn't eaten in a few weeks. He can't stop thinking about that day even when he's in military training. They continue to see each other. Days go by, and one day, they decide to do the waltz. They both start to learn how to dance, and as time goes on, they become better at it. They take images of themselves dancing and kissing each other. They are having a terrific time. She learns how to drive from him. They head to a beach and make the most of their time there. Jong informs Colonel Kim that Captain Kyung assaulted her when they were kids, therefore she doesn't like it when he touches her. But with Colonel Kim, everything feels different. She adds that he is her whole world, her universe, and then they make out by the sea. Her mom phones and informs her that it's an emergency. He takes her to the hospital, where they meet her mum and her mother-in-law. Her mom is fine, and then her mother-in-law asks Colonel Kim to take Jong back home. Her mother-in-law informs her that she knew she and Colonel Kim loved each other the first time she saw them together. She feels horrible that she married Jong off to his son, whom she thinks nasty. Jong isn't sure how he feels about this. Seeing her mother-in-law like way crushes her heart, so she tells Colonel Kim that she doesn't want to see her again and that she'll try not to miss him. Colonel Kim starts working out even harder than he did previously. He works hard only so he can stop thinking about her. He goes to a billiards hall to meet his acquaintance and asks him to help send Jong's husband to jail. It works, and now Captain Kyung has only two options: he either spend the rest of his life in jail, or he can go to Vietnam to complete his job. His mom and Jong know that he wasn't lying when he mentioned it's a setup. His mum feels that Colonel Kim is behind it. She instructs Jong to tell Colonel Kim to stop doing these things. Jong bumps into him at the pool hall. He's feeling sad. She gives him a hug from behind, hoping that it will make him feel better. All of this is stopped because of her. Colonel Kim is granted a special order from the president to go up to a higher level. Lee tells the crowd about it at the same moment she tells them she's pregnant. Colonel Kim and Jong are the only ones who don't cheer for them. Colonel Kim joins her as she cooks meals. He claims he will persuade Captain Kyung to go to another town so that Jong can travel with him. But Jong says no. She tells him she doesn't want to go, and he breaks up with her. Colonel Kim pursues her into the crowd and cries at her, "Why did you abandon me?" He punches Captain Kyung in the face, and when he goes for Jong, everyone stops him. Colonel Kim went to a drink with Lee's father, who urged him that he should go to Vietnam to think about himself. He was terribly unhappy. He was enraged at the prospect of Colonel Kim making fun of his daughter in front of everyone. Colonel Kim goes to Captain Kyung's house to meet him, but Jong claims he is already in Seoul. Colonel Kim informs her that he too needs to express sorry to her. He asks her if she loved him in the past and if she loves him today. She says yes to every question. He tells her he won't travel to Vietnam because he doesn't think he can serve in the military in this state. He asks her to live with him in Thailand. She once again rejects it, saying that she doesn't love him enough for her to leave everything behind for him. Colonel Kim shoots himself in the chest with the gun he carried when he feels sorry. Jong is stunned and reaches out for aid. He is blessed to be alive, but he has no future because he is divorced and was forced out of the military for bad behavior. 2 years have passed, and now Jong looks great in the winter. His husband gets a prominent post. Some police officers ask her to give back a picture. It turned out to be an old image of Jong and Colonel Kim. The police tell her that the man in the picture was found dead on the border between Laos and Thailand without a passport or identity. People also allege that Colonel Kim smiled and died while looking at the picture. The cops looked everywhere for the woman in the photo so they could give it back to her. Finally, they found her. She cried until her eyes hurt. The cops also show her a picture of his deceased body, which shows his wrist tattoo. It was a word she used when they were still together and happy. The sad ending came as a surprise, didn't it? If you were Jong, would you regret not accepting Colonel Kim's offer to go to Thailand? Or would you be sorry you liked him so much? What do you think? Tell us in the comments. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like and comment to help the channel. As always, thanks for watching and see you next time.